2021's been an insane year for Touhou, especially in the Western fanbase. There are a ton of things that happened this year, so let's walk through a few of them. First off, music. As we all know, Touhou has a plethora of fan-made arrangements. With how Dojin distribution generally works, however, a lot of these songs were locked to physical CDs. That was until this year. Thanks in part to an initiative by Beat Mario, yes, that Beat Mario, a ton of Touhou fan arrangements were put on streaming services and digital music stores. For example, Akatsuki Records put their albums up for digital distribution for the first time ever. Silent Running is my favorite Touhou arrangement, and I'm so happy I can finally own it digitally. But that's not all. Booth also announced a new arrangement where artists no longer have to go through the Touhou Dojin distribution service to publish their songs on the site, meaning that artists will have a much easier time releasing new songs. And coinciding with this new deal, ZUN published the soundtracks of his games digitally for the first time on streaming services. Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil came out 19 years ago, and now you can finally listen to the soundtrack officially without buying a physical CD. Oh, and speaking of ZUN, we got a new music CD! It's a shorter one, but it's still cool to see Maribel and Renko in official media again. Of course, music's not the only thing that happened. Let's talk about official games. Touhou 9.5, Shoot the Bullet, got a re-release on Steam. This is the first Generation 1 Windows game to make it to Steam, and it also means that every ZUN game from 9.5 onwards is now on the service. Steam's not the only platform getting loved though. Touhou 15.5 got a port to the Nintendo Switch, as well as a PS4 release. It's the first time an official mainline Touhou game has ever been available on Switch, and it's a great way for newcomers to discover the series. We also have the two big releases. Touhou 17.5 got delayed a few times, but it introduced so many cool things once it came out in October. My favorite surprise from it, well, besides the main one, was probably Kutaka inexplicably stealing the show. The remix of her theme is now one of my favorite songs in the entire series. And then of course, there's Touhou 18. Announced in February and released 3 months later, Touhou 18 brought us a very interesting card system that lends itself to experimentation and replayability. It also has, in my opinion, the best cast of any Touhou game. Official games have been strong this year. You also can't really talk about Western Touhou's 2021 without talking about Touhou Lost Word. Now, Lost Word's not perfect because, it's a Touhou gacha. But it's impossible to deny this game's impact and reach. At launch, Touhou Lost Word reached #1 free RPG on the US Google Play Store. Let that sink in. #1 for a Touhou project in the West. And as for introducing the series to new fans, Touhou Lost Word features an extremely strong main narrative that, for the most part, stays true to who the characters are. And the Lost Word teams collaborated with the Western community. Richard EB produced a great remix of the main theme with them, and we've had guest appearances from organizations like Gensokyo Radio. It's nice to see some Western representation in a product as big as Lost Word. And it's also led to a giant influx of new fans to the series. But of all the fan works to come out this year, the one that I'd argue had the biggest impact was a little animation from Senior Palo. His animated retelling of Touhou 6 is filled with quick and flashy humor for newcomers, and a ton of references for veteran fans to enjoy. Over the span of 6 months, this video's gotten 4.3 million views. This video has exposed so many people to the world of Touhou, and like Lost Word, led to a ton of new fans. There's many more things that happened this year. Several fan games released. Danmaku Kagura came out. Touhou Spell Bubble got online play. There were like 5 different Touhou game jams. Cheating Detective Satori came back. Fumo's got official overseas selling, and so much more. I barely scratched the surface of all the Touhou content we got this year. With 2 official games and a ton of new attractions that grew the fanbase, there's no doubt in my mind that 2021 will be remembered as one of the best years ever for Western Touhou.